Hello everyone, welcome to Awesome Vacuums. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on my Bissell PowerForce Turbo 6596 from 2007. So basically this model was the higher end version of the PowerForce Bagless that I did a review on months ago. Basically this has the wider base, the stretch hose, and the turbo brush. Now there was also a later version of this called the 6585, which is basically the same machine, but it has a few differences. Basically it was slightly cheapened and it was actually made in China, whereas this one here is made in Korea. So yeah, so what I'll do now is get the camera off the tripod, do the usual overview of the machine, go over the features, and then we'll do a pickup test at the end, and we'll just do some vacuuming after. So let's get started. Alright, so here is the Bissell PowerForce Turbo 6596 bagless vacuum cleaner. So starting at the bottom here, as you can see, we have a 5-level height adjustment. So we have bare floor, low pile carpet, medium, all the way up to high pile carpet. So I'll just set it there. And now I don't know why they have bare floor marked on here, because there's no way to shut off the brush roller. So this really is not suitable for bare floors in any way, as it will just scatter debris everywhere and scratch the floor and damage the machine over time. So yeah, this is definitely not what you want for bare floors. So right here we have the Bissell logo. And then right here it tells you uses style 12 filters and belts. And as you can see, it says dual edge cleaning on either side. And this has a 12 amp motor. As you can see, it just has a 12 here. Now on the 6585, it had a slightly different logo. It had like a little bit of a fancier logo, but it was still a 12 amp motor. We have a nice rubber bumper that runs all the way around. Well, not all the way, it starts here and goes here, so it's around the entire brush roll area. And look at how wide that is. As you can see, it really is wide. I believe this is a 15-inch wide cleaning path, so it's about the same width as a Hoover wind tunnel, or Kirby, for example. So yeah, whereas on the bagless I have, that's only a regular 13-inch, so this is 2 extra inches, and as you can see, it really makes a difference. Yeah, we have a headlight here. Some of them didn't have that, but this one does. My bagless, for example, does not. Right here we have a filter. This is the HEPA filter. So we just open this up, pull the filter out like so. As you can see, this is your filter. Now it was absolutely important that you kept this clean, because as you can see, the motor is in there. And a very common issue with these Bissells is people never clean these filters and maintained it. So what ended up happening was dirt would end up getting inside the motor, and then over time destroying it, frying up the bearings. And that's why a lot of these you'll find now have bad motors and they're really loud, is because they were never maintained, and as a result of that, a lot of these were sadly thrown away for lack of maintenance. So yeah, so if you do have one of these, definitely properly maintain it. So I'm just gonna put that back on like so. Hang on. I don't know why it's not doing it. There we go. That should be on now. Use that. Okay. So moving further up here is the dirt cup. So as you can see, it says easy empty dirt container with washable filters. I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy, but there you go. So to open it, you just move this lever to the left all the way. It pulls out. Then here's your dirt bin. You can dump out the contents. So now here's another big flaw with this machine was the way this is designed, because as you can see, there's a filter down there, and a lot of times whatever you pick up will make it on this filter. So this filter really needed to be cleaned every time you vacuum. At the very least, vacuumed off with another vacuum or washed and dried, because this filter got so badly dirty all the time it's not even funny. So yeah, that was pretty much the reason why the dirt would end up onto this filter, because it would run down here and get on there and then into the motor and fry the motor. So yeah, that was a big design flaw with these, and that's why the bagged variant at the time was the much better choice compared to these. But not saying I don't like these, because these are pretty cool machines, but sadly they were just badly designed and people just never maintained them, so that's what happened. And anyway, moving on, here is another piece. This is the cyclone piece, so that just twist it like a light bulb, and this oftentimes would get stuff wrapped around there, so you would have to pull these out and clean them as well. So yeah, so that just goes in like so, and just put the bin back on. And now, as you can see, there's the fill line there, but you did have to be careful you didn't fill this bin up too much, because stuff, if you filled it up past there, you could get stuff wrapped around here, and it's a very messy thing to clean. So yeah, that's why bags are just a much better choice personally, but everybody has to have bagless, you know. So anyway, right up here, as you can see, it says Bissell PowerForce Turbo. And one thing I will say, I do really like this translucent red color on the bin with the black. It does look really cool. I do really like these machines a lot. This is probably my favorite model of the Bissell PowerForce bagless machines, because it just looks so cool. So anyway, moving on to the top here, as you can see, we have a turbo brush. Now, this is not the original turbo brush, but it's what I have at the moment. So anyway, if I just pull this up, you can see it comes out like so, and this is your turbo brush. So it's the same design as what you would get, except the original version for this would have been yellow, and if you had the 6585, it would have had the red turbo brush, but they all worked about the same though. So this one was serviceable, so if you just twist this little gray piece like so, you can see you can actually open it. Hang on, if I can. Might have to set the camera down for this. Like that, and as you can see, the cover comes off. You have access to the turbine, belt, and brush, so you can clean it out if you had to. So that was easy to maintain, so that was good. So yeah, these definitely needed to be cleaned out, because a lot of times these would get stopped up with hair and stop working after a while. So you did need to make sure that this was always free and able to spin like that. So anyway, that lives on the top here like so, clips in like that. Moving on to the back, or the side in this case, you have the cord. So you have a quick release cord hook at the top, pulls all the cord out at once, and this cord is actually very long. Being a slightly higher end model than the Bagless. This cord is much longer, so that's a good feature right there. So yeah, so typical fashion of cheaper vacuums, the cord comes out the bottom here, which is not really a good idea. However, there is a cord hook on the top there like that, so you can hold it like so. So that's good. And now, my favorite part of the of this machine, the biggest upgrade that is this machine actually has a stretch hose, as you can see. Whereas on the other one I have that I showed does not. It had that horribly useless blow molded hose, which was really short, whereas this is nice and stretchy. So if I just pull it out like so and put it down here, as you can see, that's nice and stretchy, and it actually goes stretches pretty good at length. However, you do have to be careful you don't pull it too hard because the machine will fall. So yeah. And now, one thing about these Bissells is they always have this nice long wand with the handle here like so. Now, one problem with this though is you can't remove it. This is part of the hose, which I don't really like that. I wish Bissell made this removable, because sometimes if you're in a more confined space like the car, you definitely want just a regular hose end. You don't want all this length, or if you're going in tight areas, you know. So I really wish they would have designed that better. However, the newer models, they actually did away with this, and now it just has the hose cuff, which is good. However, they didn't include two extension ones. They only included one, and they're much shorter, so that's another issue there that Bissell has. So anyway, moving on to the tools. So we have the extension wand and crevice tool that stores on the side. So they just pull out, and as you can see, here's your crevice tool. You get a nice long crevice tool on this model, and you get the extension wand, so that's good. Now on some of the newer Bissells, like the Helixes, they did away with this, and they include a short stubby crevice tool, which is horribly useless, but on this it's a nice long, so that's good. So anyway, that just goes back on the side like so. Moving on to the other tool. Here is the Bissell's 2-in-1 tool, which is a little hard to pull out, but yeah, they've been using this tool for years at this point, and they're not very good tools, I think. Basically, you have a dusting brush on one side, and you have a upholstery tool at the other end, and it's just not a very good tool. These bristles are pretty stiff, so they're not really good for delicate dusting, that's for sure. But yeah, there's a bit of hair on the power button. So yeah, that's, you know, it was a cheap vacuum back in the day, so can't really expect good onboard tools. So anyway, it just snaps in like so on the back, nice and securely. And on this model, it has the foot switch, which I don't really care for these. I really wish Bissell would have stuck with the rocker switches on the side, like on the bagged and clean view models, because these are more prone to wearing out. I have seen these wear out a lot more than the toggle switches or the rocker switches. So yeah. So anyway, moving on to the rating sticker. So as you can see, it is a Bissell, Grand Rapids, Michigan, made in Korea. So this is not made in China. model 6596, serial number 0707300556, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 12 amps, and I believe the 07 means that this was made in 2007, but any Bissell experts can correct me on that. So yeah. So anyway, moving on to the foot pedal here. So you have three positions. So you have the upright position, and if you click it down once, you can see it goes into the 3/4 position. So you can go over, you know, area rugs, door thresholds, things like that. But if you press it again, as you can see, it gets pretty flat to the floor, as you can see. So that's pretty good. And then of course it lifts the nozzle off the floor, as you can see. So last thing I'll show you is the business end of the machine, and then we'll do the pickup test. So if I just tilt that back, as you can see, we have the brush roller, and typical fashion, these brush rollers on these Bissells are very, very aggressive. They're quite similar actually to a Hoover Elite or a wind tunnel brush roller, the way they're designed, but they're a little different. But as you can see, they are on these little like beater sort of things, so that this is a pretty aggressive brush roller, as you'll see in the video or the test. So yeah, as far as edge cleaning goes, it doesn't really get very close to the edge, because you can see these bristles are quite short, so it doesn't really make it down there, so it's not really an edge cleaner. And now in this model here, you don't need a screwdriver to take the base plate off to change the belt. You just use these little tabs here. As you can see, you just squeeze them back and the base plate comes out. So yeah, so that was pretty easy service for these machines, so that is good. And right here, you can see, is the height control wheels, which on all these Bissells, these were prone to breaking, especially right here on these little tabs. So what would happen is one of these tabs would break and this whole thing would come out. I have seen that happen quite a bit on these. That is a very common problem. But the good news is you can actually get this assembly online pretty cheap, so you can replace these if needed. So anyway, we have the two back wheels here, and then the two wheels here. I will say one thing, this these really were good, decent quality machines for the money, for what you got. Definitely a lot better than what you get now at Walmart, the Helix series, which are a lot cheaper in comparison. And personally, I feel like this model actually cleans better than those, personally. But anyway, enough talking, let's do the pickup test. Alright, so I got some salt and rice down here on the carpet, so let's see how well it does. So let's see if it agitates. Alright, so let's take a look at that. So, hey Mookie, how you doing, buddy? Mookie, just move over here, buddy, so we can show the viewers how the Bissell PowerForce Turbo has done on the pickup test. Thank you. So, looking at that, looks like that got most of it. So yeah, I don't see anything left behind. So you can hear that brush roller was really growling on the carpet, so it is pretty aggressive. So that did pretty good. So what I'll do now is change camera angles and we'll clean the rest of this up. Well, as you can see, it picked up everything, so everything is now in the dirt bin. So let's take a look at that filter now. So as you can see, it picked up all that, no problem. But for what I'm really curious to see is the filter. And yep, just as I thought, that filter is now full of dog hair and all kinds of stuff, which was really why it was so important to keep these clean. But if I just twist that off, look down here, as you can see there's even more down here as well. So that's not very good. So that was a big problem. But on the whole, it is a great machine. It really performs very well. It's a shame that it has this big design flaw, because it really is a good machine. And I do really like these. So if you do find one of these with a good motor for a good price, then definitely pick one up. So that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Bye for now.